Hello everyone and welcome to the Premier Injury YouTube channel. My name is Ben Dinnery and this is not, I repeat, not a daily injury roundup. We're going to put Jason McKenna to work. The stat man has been squirreling away. Now, what are we doing today? We're going to look at those top performing attacks over that first part of the season. Like I say, Jason McKenna has looked at the data and he's trying to unearth some patterns, some trends that we can potentially use ahead of this next segment of games that will take us to the winter breaks. If you do want injury updates, by all means, hit me up on Twitter as you usually do. Pop any comments below, or you can check out premierinjuries.com, or you can check out our latest video which went live on Monday with some of the key talking points from game week 8. So without further ado, here we go.
In today's video, we're going to be looking at the best attacks in the Premier League. There's some ways to evaluate the best attacks, so there's going to be a few useful metrics shown in the video today. However, we'll start with the most basic stats of total goals scored and then evaluate each of these teams. Topping the table this season already are Manchester City with 23 goals. It's no surprise there with the elite attack that they have, but Erling Haaland has blasted them to new levels. Tottenham are second, Arsenal third, Liverpool fourth, and Brentford in fifth position. Now, Brentford may seem to be an outlier of these teams with total goals scored. Looking at the XG data, the team have overperformed by about 5 goals, with 15 goals scored from an XG of 10. However, the attack of the team seems to be highly impressive in other metrics, and so this is why we are evaluating them. The Bees sit in second for big chances and big chances created, as we can see on screen. Opta defines a big chance as a situation where a player should be reasonably expected to score, usually in a one-on-one scenario from a very close range when the ball has a clear path to goal and there's low to moderate pressure on the shooter. Adding to this, penalties are always considered big chances. Also, as you can see from the data, there is a difference between big chances created data and big chances total data. That's because a big chance is created by a teammate's direct pass. However, a big chance can come from all sorts of situations. So looking at this data, the only team bettering the Bees at creating high quality big chances are Manchester City. Brentford have 18 big chances created, which is from players passing the ball to other players, whereas big chances total is 22. So looking at this then, Brentford's attacking numbers shouldn't be too surprising. But what is also of note is the absence of Tottenham Hotspur from these big chances data. Some of Tottenham's underlying numbers when it comes to attack are of concern, and it has been discussed as to whether they can keep up these high numbers through the season if they continue playing the way that they are. They're not getting the ball into the final third all that often, and the passes into the final third data is pretty low. But as we can see, they are creating high quality XG opportunities. But the question has to be, is that sustainable? And will other teams in the Premier League find these tactics out and maybe work against Conte because he has a very regimented, predictable style of play? Moving it on to XG, and there might be another surprise in there. In fifth position, we see Manchester City again at the top, Arsenal second, Tottenham third, Liverpool fourth, but Newcastle are in fifth position. So looking at the games ahead, this gives me confidence for Newcastle and their fixtures. Alexander Isak has fitted into the team well, and Wilson is looking close to return to the first 11. These are both excellent finishers, and the quality of chances that Newcastle are creating are amongst the best in the league, with a high quality 11 XG. Also looking at the shots in the box data, the Newcastle team are also fifth, showing that they are getting the ball into the right positions. Liverpool top that measure with 92 shots in the box, Arsenal in second, Tottenham in third, Manchester City in fourth, and then Newcastle in fifth position. So combining the fact that Newcastle have a relatively high XG This makes picks like Alexander Isak, priced very nicely, with a nice fixture swing ahead, maybe a great differential to bring into your teams. So finally evaluating the last few teams in the best attacks bracket, starting off with Arsenal, and you can see that they feature very highly in most of the data. In fact, they're top 2/top 3 in most of the metrics, and therefore we can probably say with confidence that they are a very good attacking team this season. However, it must be evaluated that they do have a tough set of fixtures ahead, and so maybe some transferring in and out of their players might be good to capitalise on other players who have good fixtures, whilst Arsenal have some difficult ones ahead. It's also interesting to note that Liverpool are still performing quite well in the underlying data, but the question is always, how long can we trust in their high performing assets that aren't returning FPL points? At the moment, it seems to be the sensible way to pivot towards players like in Manchester City, De Bruyne ahead of Salah, because he is consistently performing, whereas there's question marks over what is happening at the Reds. Also, looking at it, we need to address the fact that Brighton have been playing well, they've scored fairly well, and they do feature in the big chances created total. However, at the moment, I'm not convinced to go fully in on their assets. Ahead, Brighton have one of the toughest fixture schedules, with Liverpool, Tottenham, Manchester City and Chelsea all featuring in their next 6 matches. These are tough matches anyway, but you must also factor in that they've lost their great manager Graham Potter. The new manager does give me some excitement looking at his history, and if people are interested, we can do an analysis on his style of play. However, just at the moment, with the upheaval and the tough run of fixtures, it seems like Brighton attacking assets are in a void.
Thanks, Jason. Fantastic work as always. So there you go, your best attacks and maybe some of those worst attacks and those players to avoid as we go into game week 9 through until that international break, that winter break for the World Cup in November. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll be back with more content very soon.